What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gem Mint back with another statue unboxing and review, and I guess you could say that Mike Cecilia sent me an angel. Ooh, right now. You know what's funny? Mike sent me 3 statues to review. All of them are blue mutants. Anyway, I appreciate you sending this in to let us review it. I do have the retailer exclusive, the Uncanny X-Force version coming in, so it's cool to be able to see both. And I really wanted to do the video with both of them, but the other one's not coming in until next week, so we'll do a video then. Massive, super wide box. You see Archangel on the front, the Archangel logo on the side. You can see his back on the back, showing off those wings. And then the other side here. So let's go ahead and start the unboxing. Again, big thanks to Mike. Let's dive into it. All right, so we got a big 2-layer box with the straps. Let's take those off. Let's remove this top lid and see what we got. So we've got the body, the hands, a couple of portraits, and some horns. So these are going to be horns to the skulls that'll be around the base. They have some nice texture sculpted in, the ridges and such. Some nice paint applications, but not really much going on, just dark brown to light brown. Here are some smoother horns, so there's different types of skulls, different enemies all across the base, almost like a velociraptor claw. And then I think these are going to be the last 2 small little pieces of horns. They're color-coded. And then you have this little piece of spine that goes on the back of Archangel. Here's the 2 hands, and I really like how that pink pops on the gauntlets. Then you got the blue hands with that black kind of design throughout, which we'll see on the body as well. But just 2 hands, not doing much. And then the body, kind of sculpted like an Oscar, very similar to the Silver Surfer that Daniel did, but I do like the modernization of the outfit as far as like the black trim. You got the classic blue and pink. He's got the shiny pink on the soles, moving around. 2 very big gaping holes on the back for the wings that we'll see in a moment, but otherwise pretty standard museum pose. And then onto the portrait. So my favorite is the classic, the kind of regular portrait, if you will. Hair covered up by the helmet. You can see the blonde eyebrows with kind of a stern look. And a great job on the eyes, too. The pupils, like the white pupils to the light blue irises, I guess you would call them. But that's the regular. And then you have the death portrait. So I'm kind of surprised that Sideshow did this. 3 portraits, and one of them being one of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Death. So pretty cool, very nice metallic shine, gold shine on that mask. Not something that I would use personally, but very cool that they included it. And then lastly is the Warren Worthington III portrait. So you have his long, beautiful blonde hair, a lot of time spent sculpted in those strands of hair. I'm almost very careful that I don't want to chip any of those pieces off, but yeah, I think they did a wonderful job on the hair. It's cool to see his whole portrait, and it gives more depth because there's more volume on this portrait. All right, next layer. This is where we're going to have the base and the wings. That's actually all that we have here. So let's start taking out those wings first. So the wings are of a lightweight material, but it has weight to it because of how massive these wings are. So they do have a paint job. You can see like a silver to a bluish hue going down the wings. They do have the 2 wings from each side of the body together, so you could kind of move it a little bit. And then here's the second one, is pretty much the same thing in a slightly different pose. I didn't love the material used and the paint applications when I saw this in person at StatueCon, and I feel the same way now, man. I think they should have gone with a chrome finish on this, but more on that later. Lastly, we have the base. So very cool how the bottom of the base almost looks like his wingspan. So you got the Sideshow 30th. This is number 732 out of 1250. But great colors on the bottom of the base on that decal. And then, like I mentioned, all of the skulls. You do have a little bit of moss in there as well to give you a little pinch of green. There's also some different hues on the skulls as they go from a lighter color to dark, but that's the base. We got it on the table. Let's go ahead and key in Archangel first. Now, this was tough, man, at least on this piece. To get him keyed in, it wasn't easy. I actually went back and had to look at the Sideshow out of the box video, and they did mention you kind of got to wiggle it around a little bit to really find the hole. With me on this one, I really just had to forcefully push off camera, so I eventually got him sitting all the way flush. And then from then on, we're going to just go ahead and get the horns into the base. They're color-coded, like I said, so it's easy to spot. They key right in, no problems. And then around the back, we're going to have the last 2 horns, one up top and then one here on the bottom. All right, with the base done, let's go ahead and key in these hands. So we'll just do the left hand, then the right hand, no big deal. All right, and then lastly, we'll flip Archangel around. We'll get the wings in, which actually went in pretty easy, and it was hard to do it while on camera, but the left wing goes in, then we're going to go ahead with the right wing, which now you can kind of see how it's a different pose. And then that little piece of spine will magnetize right here on top. All right, so onto the portraits. We're going to start with that regular portrait, the Archangel portrait. Boom, swap it out with the Death portrait. And then lastly, the unmasked or unhelmeted, the Warren portrait with his luscious locks. And that's it, you guys. Let's take a look at it. If you guys missed out on any of those San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, look no further than that Spider-Man booth on Whatnot. They've got the Invincible Universe Battle Beast exclusive by Ryan Ottley, the Marvel Swimsuit Special by Rose Besh, and they even got that rare Jim Lee Hush 2 black and white cover. Make sure to bookmark that Spider-Man booth's upcoming shows and give them a follow. And there we have it, you guys. One of the original Marvel characters ever, Angel, later became one of the original X-Men as Angel, and then Archangel as transformed by Apocalypse in the pages of X Factor 24. Once again, big thanks to Mike Cecilia for letting me review this statue. And it is an impressive statue, but it does have some flaws. First of all, we'll just take a quick look at it. When I first saw this, I was a little bit let down that it wasn't dynamic. You think Archangel and you think wingspan, you think some crazy in-flight pose, but that's not what we got here, but it's still impressive. So he is kind of floating a little bit. His back left leg is keyed into the base, but the right leg is a little bit forward. It makes it look like he's floating. And then you have the wings, which even though they're not expanded, he doesn't have a wingspan, they are massive. Now, as you can see, as I'm turning this, I don't like how loose this one feels, and it actually hits up against the horn here on the base. It's my biggest letdown with this piece. I feel like they should have gone with a chrome finish here. And I mentioned when I was doing the unboxing that it's like a silver metal that goes down to a bluish tone, and it's almost like a grayish blue. It's very subtle. I think the light really helps pick that up. But I think they should have went chrome. I don't know if the material would have benefited from something else. It needed to be lightweight. It needed to be a little bit flexible, so I get that. But it just looks a little bit plasticky, and I think that's just what's bothering me here on this piece. Otherwise, man, it is a crazy statue. It's huge, first of all. So Archangel is standing up about 8 inches off of the table, and his total height, I want to say his left wing, is about 28 inches tall. The width, it's really mostly in the wings, puts that at about 14.5 inches. And then the depth, again, you have the wings in the back, that sticks it out about 13 inches. Now, I mentioned sculpted by Daniel Bell, and it was designed by Richard Long. You had Bernardo Esquivel on the paint, and I mentioned the edition size, 1,250. And this is considered the collector's edition, which is kind of cool, right? Because you have 3 portraits for the standard version. Now, there is an exclusive version, but it's not like another portrait or a swap-out hand. They did what they did with Daniel Bell's Hulk series. They gave this a retailer exclusive variant, which is a paint variant. It's the Uncanny X-Force. You can only get the retailer exclusive from an authorized Sideshow retailer, so you know I had to go collector zone. Only 225 exist of the Uncanny X-Force exclusive, and from what I was told, Marcos still has a few of them. So if you guys do want to pick up that low ES retailer exclusive, you can head on over to Collector Zone, but use code GEMMINT. It saves you 20%. And that helps because this piece retailed $850 for the collector's edition, $820 for the retailer exclusive, which only has 1 portrait. But again, a lot more limited. I think I'm going to keep it with this regular portrait on, but we might as well do a quick switch out and see what the others look like. So this portrait adds a little bit of variety with the color. Instead of that blue face, you've got the shiny gold mask straight out of the comic books. This is when he was first transformed into Archangel. I wouldn't use it though. I would use the unmasked portrait. Now with this one, you have to key it in a little bit more careful. You have to kind of lean his head back a little bit. And there we go. But like I said, it adds more volume. It's kind of a totally different head sculpt if you think about it. I could see myself using this one. I'm not really married to the helmeted look. I think this looks great as well. Unfortunately, with that Uncanny X-Force version, it doesn't come with that, but a cool option for the collector's edition. So, man, crazy piece. Not what I expected from Archangel, but still cool nonetheless. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Again, big thanks to Mike. Appreciate you guys watching. Stay minty fresh.